the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running.
What is up, everybody? So, just got off work, kicking back on the front porch, enjoying the beautiful weather because it ain't been hot as hell. And just shoot the shit for a minute because, you know, Saturday we're starting the build in the Scion. So, looking forward to that. That'll be a lot of footage for you. But I just had little things going on. I did order Deb some new mids for Death Note and a new amplifier for all the highs in there. Currently, the build does not have DS18 mids, but all the amps are DS18 and everything else is. So, I did get her the same carbon fiber mids that I have and the same small 4-channel that I have. That way, equipment-wise, pretty much both builds will have the exact same thing. Only difference being I have 4 big-ass horns in my doors and she has 4 tweeters versus horns. Otherwise, everything else will be exactly the same. Now, yesterday I did do something interesting, and I got to test something I've been curious about for a long time. And that is the DD Audio ZVL. If you don't know, a ZVL is a bridging module. This kid Cameron, you know, if you watch last weekend's video, he wanted me to set the gains on his amps. His head unit was bad. He wasn't getting like no RCA voltage out of the head unit at all. It wasn't just sub-channel. It was across the board. So he bought a Kenwood Exelon and came over yesterday, and I was wanting to film it. It's just I got carried away bullshitting and inspecting everything I forgot to. But between his 2 DD Audio M8s, he does have the ZVL. And everything's been wired up and working, and all I had to do was adjust the gain on the ZVL. Well, I like to test things, guys. I'm not just like, okay, this is going to set the gain on both amps and gain match it, and we're done. No, I don't work that way. Sadly, the DDM8s don't have a friggin' clip light. So I had to break out the old DD1. So we had left amp. I don't know which side you're looking at, but left amp, I had the DD1 on the left amp output. On the right amp, I had my multimeter, set the AC voltage. I had already set RCA voltage and everything. We had it done. So I turned the gain all the way down. I have him start negative 5 dB, 40 hertz tone, blah, blah, blah. I wrote a gain on the ZVL up until I had a clip light on that amp. Well, on the DD1. So I had him shut everything down. I recorded the AC voltage on the multimeter out of the other amp, and it was at 106.5. I did the old swapperoo. I put the DD1 on this amp to make sure it wasn't in clip, and in turn, I put the multimeter on this amp. I had him turn everything up the exact same way. DD1 did not show a clip light. That 106.5 was clean. But now the other amp that did have the clip light, it's only showing 103. That's 3.5 volts different. So what did I learn from the old ZVL, guys? The ZVL did gain match them amps, and it left 3.5 volts in limbo. Now, in this equation, that amp that was only showing 103, yeah, that 103 was clean because that is the amp that had the clip light, and I did turn the ZVL down till that clip light went off. But now we got one amp that's putting out 106.5. That's 3.5 volts difference. And I don't care what you say, when you gain match amps, you never want to see that much difference. Like, not even a volt. If I can't get them dead on, the most I ever leave in variance is 1/10 of a volt, not 3.5. So I'm just basically putting out there that that's my experience with the ZVL. And if any of you guys watching this run a ZVL on all of your amps, what is your RCA voltage, or have you ever tested it from one amp to the next? Because here's my thinking on this. They made this bad boy to work with DD Audio amps. And he has DD Audio, the new DDM 8000s, you know. So he's got DD. My dog wasn't happy. He didn't want to go in. Anyway, he's got the DDM8s, two 8,000 watt amps, and the DD ZVL. So I'm thinking it's going to work better with DD than any other brand, but it's made to run universally with a bunch of amps. So I want to know, how much variance are you getting from one amp to the next? Because my experience with it isn't great. Can 3.5 volts start causing phasing issues? I'm going to say that's right there at the borderline of, yes, it could start causing phase. That's just my opinion. I don't know factually, because I don't know how many volts you need to be off, you know, spread out across 3 subs to cause phasing issues. But either way you look at it, I don't like it. I like to be within a tenth from one amp to the next. So, and this kind of saddened me when I saw this, because I kept hearing great things about the ZVL, and I'm like, oh my God, this would be awesome. I have 4 amps. And if I'm not strapped, I got to set 4 gains, you know. Strapped, I only got to set 2, but still. Anyway, I'm just curious what y'all's experience, if you have ran one, or if you've been thinking about running one, and you're hearing about my experience of the 3.5 volt difference. What are you thinking? Other than that, Deb has been working here and there, playing with different GoPro brackets to get a camera set up in Death Note. And I played with a bunch of different brackets today during my lunch break in Jangalang. And I just wound up. The stripper pole is going to work fine in her vehicle. You know, with it being not as tall. And she come off the bottom of the stripper pole and got a good angle to the passenger seat. I was trying to go above it and whatever. I wound up putting my damn GoPro on the dash. I cleaned the dash up with an alcohol pad, and I got one of them flat mounts and just kind of aimed that bitch while I was looking at my phone and stuck it down. And that's where I got the mount there. The GoPro's in the house. But I had to order batteries for both GoPros. So I got batteries and charger. You know, yeah, that is all that came in from Amazon. So now we got plenty of batteries. Memory cards, we got enough memory cards, more than phone storage. So yeah, I'm gonna have to learn how to do quite a bit of editing in the GoPro software, like the quick app, how to chop down a rough chop on the video to get the segment I want, and then save it to the phone and kind of clip from there, because yeah, I just don't want a shit ton. Like, I think my phone's only 64 gig. So, and usually after a weekend of filming video, that bitch would be pretty much full. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to learn how to do quite a bit of editing and saving and freeing up space. But I'm eager to do some more video footage with actual GoPro. So I'm excited about that. Really, that's about all I had for you guys. It was just a little quick update of what's been going on. And I wanted to film yesterday for 2 reasons. I wanted to film that with ZVL and this Tesman company that makes some multimeters. You know, way back, they sent me 2. And out the gate, I played with them. I'm like, man, these things are dirt cheap. They'd be good for a bass head if they're half-ass accurate. And voltage-wise, they were like within a tenth of my Fluke. And I use a Southwire multimeter for everything. It's my favorite. I bought that bitch at the pawn shop. And it's been rock solid, you know. I've compared it with my Fluke, and in every test I did, they matched up head-to-head. So I kind of use this little Fluke that I have as like the standard for testing multimeters. So Tesman actually sent me 2 out the gate, and they did all right, except for when it came to reading speaker impedance. They were just dead short, you know, like the beep function. So resistance, they just didn't read worth a shit. Yeah, that sucked. And I gave them the feedback, and I put in the YouTube video that's one thing that made them suck for car audio. Well, a couple months ago, they sent me one. I can't even find it because as soon as I took it out of the pack, put the batteries in it, and it was a higher end model than what they had sent me the first time, one of their new ones. And I'm like, okay, let's see here. And I hooked it up to a 4-ohm speaker, and it was one of the ones that's auto, it picked ohms or volt, whatever the hell you were doing, you couldn't pick. It just did it on its own. And out the gate, that bitch beeped. And it was showing 0 ohms, like it was a dead short. So I figured rather than bashing the company again, I put it up. I can't even find it. I threw it somewhere because I'm like, well, it's a piece of crap. For audio, it's a piece of crap. I mean, if you were doing household electrical shit, it might be all right for that. But yeah, in my eyes, piece of crap. So they're like, hey, we got you this time. This is our big, badass, new $40 multimeter. Because, Tesman, I mean, they made multimeters for $8. So, and what's bad is all the Tesman ones I've gotten up to this point, I bought a $5 one off Temu. And I did a comparison. And this $5 job off Temu would read speaker ohms. That's what's crazy. It read speaker ohms for $5 Temu. But anyway, that's not what we're talking about. So Tesman hooks me up with their new high-end, and it is self-adjusting, but it has a mode button, so you can literally go pick ohms. So, of course, I put batteries in it. The first thing I do when I turn it on is I grab a 4-ohm speaker, and I hook the leads up, and that bitch actually read 4 ohm. I'm like, Tesman got something right. So yesterday, when I'm out here fucking with Cameron's Tahoe, setting the gains, I broke that meter out. And I was going to use it. And, I got my RCA adapter that me and Duck each made one. You plug it into an RCA cable, and it's got 2 little alligator clips you hook on the multimeter leads, and you read voltage. And this bitch is on 0. And I'm like, Cameron, you got the bass knob up? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, you up on volume 38, out of 40, volume 38? And he's like, yeah, I'm on volume 38. And I'm like, why ain't this mother reading anything? I'm like, is my clip, my little adapter piece screwed up or something? So I opened the door, jangling, and I grabbed the old south wire out, and I hooked that bitch up, and it's like 1.7. The Tesman is hooked up in conjunction with it. So anyway, I used my multimeter that I always use, and I'm like, I get Cameron up there around that 2.1, 2.2 of RCA voltage, which I found out most amps just like that. Like, the DD and the Hooligan KO, they're the same friggin' amp. Like, anyway, but there's some differences, but the board and most of the components are all the same. So I know what the amp's like, and that's around that 2.2. Anyway, I get it adjusted there. My multimeter is still showing 2.2, and this damn Tesman is showing nothing. So they fixed one thing, but I never tested on low voltage. Apparently, this piece of crap ain't gonna read anything under 5 volts. Because I broke it out and tried to read, like a 3.7 volt battery. No, it won't read it. It won't. It still says 0 volts. Until you get to about that 5 volt point, it's worthless. So, great job, Tesman. You still ain't got it right. Anyway, that's about all I got for y'all today. I just wanted to give y'all a quick update of what's been going on. It is Thursday evening, and I'm out here looking at my yard, and I think when I get off work tomorrow, as always on every other Friday, I'm going to mow this bitch, and hopefully it will be the last time of the year because I hate mowing. If there is a hell, which we're pretty sure there's not because, the original Bible never mentioned hell. It's a whole nother topic, guys. But, yeah, if there was a hell and I died and went there, it would be mowing. That would be my eternal damnation, would be just strapped to a lawnmower for eternity. But it don't look that, yeah. I'm hoping this will be the last time. Peace out, guys, and as always, bass on.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this.